My roommate was live streaming in the dorm, and I was pushed out by the other two roommates to persuade her to stop. Then she incited her fans to cyberbully me to death. After being reborn, I pulled the bed curtain tightly and put on earplugs. What's all the noise about? It wasn't noisy at all. The two roommates were disturbed all night and had dark circles under their eyes when they got up in the morning. They pushed me out and stood in front of Heidi. Speak up. Lucy gave me a meaningful look. I spoke with righteous indignation. Roommates should be tolerant of each other and live in harmony and friendship. Kathy was stunned, tugging at my sleeve and whispering, "We agreed yesterday, it wasn't supposed to be like this." Lucy also poked me. "Only you dare to stand up to her. Our future depends on you." Heidi glanced sideways. "What are you mumbling about? If you're complaining about me being noisy, didn't I compensate you with gifts?" She herself doesn't even dare to use those review items, can't bear to throw them away, and finally dumps them on us, acting like she's doing us a favor. Kathy muttered softly, "It's all stuff you didn't want. What kind of gift is that?" But I stepped forward, linked arms with Heidi, and agreed with a smile, "Yes, yes, you're so great, having you is our blessing." Heidi gave a proud humph, then tossed a bottle of cosmetics to me casually. "You know that's right, it just arrived. Consider it a gift." I chuckled, took it, and neatly arranged it among the pile of things she had given me. From the start of the semester until now, the things Heidi has given have accumulated into a whole box. At the beginning of the semester, she told us that both her parents were dead, and she was living on her own, making money through live streaming. We understood and respected her. But the time she spends live streaming every night is getting longer. And the variety is increasing, from simple chatting to singing and dancing. It's getting noisier. Kathy and Lucy couldn't stand it anymore but didn't dare to speak up, so they pushed me to stop Heidi. When Heidi got angry, they quickly distanced themselves from me and tried to curry favor with her. When I was cyberbullied, they acted like quails, even teaming up with Heidi to bully me. This time, whoever wants to be the scapegoat can be. At 11 p.m., the dorm lights went out, and Heidi turned on her high-powered desk lamp. "Babies, today Heidi is in a good mood, so let me know what song you want to hear." Kathy and Lucy were tossing and turning on the bed, creating a three-person chat group to complain. "Sarah, what's wrong with you today? Why are you suddenly so timid? Now it's so noisy. We have an exam at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Are you trying to kill us? Sarah, can you control her?" I got up, pulled back the bed curtain, and shouted at the two beds across from me. "Why can't you just say it directly instead of making a three-person chat group?" Heidi was startled by the shout and looked up at me, bewildered. "What three-person group chat?" I opened the WeChat group and dramatically recited. Lucy said, "Heidi is such a lunatic, howling like a ghost in the middle of the night without sleeping." Kathy said, "Exactly, it's so awful." Lucy pulled back the curtain and cursed loudly. "Sarah, are you crazy? Why are you reading out the chat history?" I nodded vigorously. Yes, I'm crazy. Do you have any medicine? When you guys pushed me out this morning, my legs trembled, my face turned pale, I felt dizzy, as if I was about to die any second. I looked around, hoping you'd help, but I was left to fight alone. My heart raced, and my blood boiled. I was dancing and twisting on the bed, and Lucy stared at me in shock. "You're really crazy." Kathy poked her head out, speaking softly. "Sarah, stop making trouble. I know you're angry with us, and we apologize. Please stop, okay?" Heidi is still live streaming, with her sweet talking. It seemed like I was the one in the wrong. "No way," I spoke passionately. "Roommates should help each other, yet you formed a clique behind the scenes, isolating our beautiful and kind classmate Heidi. I must expose you to calm the injustice in my heart." Lucy, embarrassed and angry, glared at me and quickly pulled the bed curtain shut. "You're sick." Kathy also silently pulled her head back. Heidi was stunned, and after a while, she said into the microphone, "They might be talking in their sleep. Let's end today's session here. See you all tomorrow, babies." The world was completely quiet. I lay down contentedly. Heidi's live stream was disrupted, causing her to lose many followers. As a result, she started live streaming during the day and expanded her content, walking around the dormitory and broadcasting the daily life of female college students. Lucy was organizing her class notes when Heidi pointed the camera at her. "Look everyone, this is the academic overachiever from our private group. She's still studying so late, way too competitive." Having already torn apart their relationship, Lucy had nothing to fear and turned to glare fiercely at her. "Is this look scary, babies? Are all small-town test-takers like this?" Heidi patted her chest as if she had been frightened. Lucy stood up, slammed the book heavily on the desk, and glared at Heidi as if ready to devour her. Heidi took a few steps back, forcing herself to stare back. Look, babies, our test-taking roommate seems to be angry. It's okay, Heidi has a big heart and won't hold it against her. Lucy picked up her books, pushed Heidi aside, and stormed out, slamming the dormitory door shut. The babies don't like this violent scene, let's look at something else. Heidi walked around the dormitory, and the camera turned to me again. I'd had enough of the drama. So I quickly went to the balcony, picked up a few pieces of clothing, and brought them back to fold on the table. Heidi walked over with a smile. Let's see what our Sarah is doing, folding clothes. Wow, what style is this? As she spoke, she reached out to grab the underwear, deftly lifting it from the pile of clothes. I grinned as I watched her take it, displaying it in front of the camera. White lace trim. Who would have thought Sarah looks so innocent but is so sexy? No, not at all. Don't you find it familiar? Your underwear dried, so I specially brought it in for you. I pointed at the underwear and said to her. Heidi's face changed, and she immediately turned the camera away. Heidi, I have your matching underwear too. Should I fold it for you? It's also lace trimmed. I picked up a pair of underwear and waved it in front of her. She lowered her voice, her eyes warning. You're doing this on purpose. I blinked innocently. Of course I am. I thought you were working so hard on your live stream, so I decided to help you organize your clothes. No need to thank me. Heidi gave me a suspicious look, and I glanced at her phone. Your fans are calling for you. You should get back to your live stream. She huffed and finally gave up. Retracting her gaze and holding her phone to take photos everywhere, Lucy and Kathy, in order to avoid Heidi while filming videos, left early and returned late, and quickly washed up and went to bed after coming back. Since Heidi couldn't film them, she came to find me. Sarah, you also said that roommates should help each other. Since they're not around, I can only film you. Please don't mind, I exclaimed with joy. Great, great. I hope you don't mind either. Heidi opened the live stream. Hi. Babies, we meet again. Today is a special roommates live stream. Let's see what our roommate Sarah is up to. She gestured for me to get to work, so I opened a textbook. Heidi leaned over. She's studying. Look at this book. Why is the handwriting so ugly? I nodded repeatedly in agreement. Yes, it's so ugly, like a dog scratching. Listen to the babies. Even she herself dislikes it. Heidi mocked. I suddenly frowned. Oh, this book doesn't seem to be mine. Heidi paused, as if thinking of something, her expression changing. Just as she was about to stop me, I quickly flipped the book to the title page, revealing her name. I grinned foolishly at her. Oh, my memory, this is your book. Sorry about that, I must have picked it up by mistake after class. Heidi immediately turned off the sound, anxiously saying, You can't say that, the host's handwriting is ugly, and the fans will drop. Just say this book is yours, not mine. You made a mistake. And the name was written by you randomly. I nodded and repeated her words to her. She breathed a sigh of relief and then turned the sound back on, signaling me to continue. This book is mine, not yours. I misspoke. That name was just something I made up. After saying this, I looked sincerely at Heidi. Did I say it right, as you taught me? Heidi pointed at me, practically fuming. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Guys, my roommate is just joking with me. Let me see where my book has gone. I'll end the broadcast for now. She quickly turned off the live stream and glared at me. I saidly, Isn't that how it is? Otherwise, you should just live stream them. I've already thought of a title for you. What my early to rise, late to return roommates are up to. Heidi frowned, thought for a moment, then smiled. That works, you're quite sensible. But I shook my head again. No, if you film them, they'll definitely get angry. How about you? Heidi snorted, interrupting me. Do I fear them? They're nothing but paper tigers. What can they do to me? As soon as Lucy and Kathy pushed the door open in the evening, Heidi's phone was thrust in their faces. Babes, look, our roommates are coming back so late. Could they have been up to something they shouldn't be? Lucy frowned and swatted the phone away. Don't spout nonsense. Watch me tear your mouth apart. Kathy hid behind her, not daring to make a sound. Heidi shot her a glance and continued filming. My roommate is threatening me again. What does this mean? Explanation is just a cover-up, and what's being covered up is the truth. Everyone, look closely. What exactly are they doing? Lucy emphasized her words. Didn't you hear me? Turn it off. Heidi pretended not to hear and looked at her from side to side, suddenly exclaiming in surprise. Did you all see that? There's a red mark on her neck. Is it from a mosquito bite, or something else? Could it be, Lucy, at the end of his rope, snatched her phone and slammed it to the ground. Heidi, are you done yet? Ah, my phone, Heidi screamed, grabbing Lucy's clothes. You'll pay for my phone, it's brand new, I just bought it. Lucy shoved her away forcefully. Who told you to take pictures of me? I've already warned you. Heidi hit her lower back on the table, crying out in pain. You hit me, I'm going to fight you. They grappled with each other. Kathy carefully moved closer to me, her voice weak. Sarah, what should we do? They're fighting. I glanced at her sideways. Did she really need to say that? Was I blind? She's the best at pretending to be innocent and weak, always hiding behind others and avoiding trouble for herself. After I was cyberbullied, she started avoiding me, not saying a single word to me, as if she didn't know me. I gave her a push. Why aren't you hurrying to break them up? She fidgeted with her hem, hesitating. I don't know how to separate them, or your best friend is going to get beaten to death, I urged. Go on, go. I shoved her between the two of them. She was at a loss, about to reach out to pull Lucy away, but was slapped away, her arm immediately turning red. She tried to grab Heidi again, but Heidi glared at her fiercely and kicked her. Kathy crouched down in pain. Serves her right. I slipped out quietly and called the counselor. Teacher Lee, please come quickly. There's a fight going on in room 501. The counselor was impatient. What can a girl do? Handle this internally. I pretended to be anxious. No, it won't do. If you don't come soon, someone's going to die. Heidi is about to be beaten to death. We'll have to call the police then. What? Really troublesome. I'm coming right away. Hurry up and stop the fight. Satisfied, I hung up the phone, hid outside the door, and recorded all the chaos inside. Kathy, who had initially been shrinking timidly to the side, was inadvertently hit by both of them from time to time, and soon couldn't hold back and joined the fight. The three of them were engaged in a fierce battle, pulling hair, pinching arms, looking no different from street harridans. What was the point of being an internet celebrity, a goody two-shoes, or a top student? They were all the same. When the counselor rushed in, I was clinging to the doorframe, pleading desperately. Stop fighting. Stop fighting. Teacher, you're here, please. Talk some sense into them. They've been at it for half an hour. The counselor shouted loudly. Stop. When the three separated, they all had bruised faces, a few clumps of hair pulled out, wrinkled clothes, and bloodstains on their arms. Kathy immediately had tears in her eyes. Teacher, it was all Heidi who started it first. Lucy glared angrily at Heidi. As soon as I walked in, she shoved her phone in my face to live stream and slandered me. Heidi smoothed her hair and faced him directly. You broke my phone, pay up. The counselor glanced around. Kathy and Lucy, right, a 2,000-word reflection, submit it to my office tomorrow, and Lucy, remember to pay up. Lucy widened his eyes. Why should I? She took photos of me, she invaded my privacy. The counselor frowned. Do you have any evidence? Lucy choked, his voice tinged with defiance. She's live streaming. What evidence could I possibly have? If you don't believe me, you can go to her live stream and ask her fans. The counselor snorted coldly. So you have none, but you damaged someone else's property, and there are both witnesses and physical evidence. Lucy grinned smugly at the two of them. Don't forget, you'll need to write a self-criticism and pay up. I quietly observed her and the counselor. The counselor was in her early 30s, with a neat low ponytail, appearing gentle at first glance, but in reality, she was kind-faced but not kind-hearted. In my previous life, when I complained to the counselor about Heidi inciting fans to cyberbully me, she looked dismissive. If there's a problem, you should reflect on yourself. Why do they only scold you and not others? Back then, I thought she didn't want to get involved and was using the victim-blaming argument to shut me up. Now I understand. She was clearly biased towards Heidi. No matter who stands against Heidi, she doesn't care. She only protects Heidi. The counselor left, and Heidi smiled as she saw her off. I ran down the stairs from the other side and hid behind a tree outside the dormitory gate. Then opened my phone's camera to wait for the two of them to come out. The two of them chatted and laughed. Walking out of the dormitory and stopping at the entrance, the counselor patted Heidi's shoulder. If you need anything, just come to me. Even though I haven't married your dad yet, I treat you like my own daughter. I can handle anything that happens at this school. Heidi leaned affectionately against her. My mom only knows how to please that old man, never caring about me. You're more like my real mom, and you're prettier and gentler than her. No wonder the old man likes you more. Don't worry, they're about to get divorced, and then you'll be my mom. I was shocked. What a huge scandal. Heidi's parents aren't dead at all. and this young and beautiful instructor is the other woman. As Heidi's biological daughter, she actually sided with outsiders to scheme against her own mother and got so close to the other woman. In that instant, I felt all the blood in my body boiling. I returned to the dorm, and Lucy gave me a hostile glance. "Where have you been?" I stopped in my tracks and looked at her. "You must hate Heidi now, right?" She turned her head away. "What's it to you? You didn't help back then, and now you're saying all these sarcastic things." If I had helped, it would be me being talked about sarcastically. I haven't forgotten how they treated me in my previous life. I didn't respond directly, just shook my phone. "Great stuff, want to see it." About Heidi. Lucy immediately turned to look at me, and Kathy also showed interest. I reached out to Lucy. "Give me your phone, I'll send it to you." With past experiences in mind, I was really afraid they might turn against me, so I had to be cautious. I sent the video to Lucy, saved it on her phone, and then deleted the chat history. Kathy looked at me eagerly from the side. I handed Lucy's phone over. "Let her send it to you." As the two of them watched the video, Lucy laughed sinisterly. "I'll upload the video online and let Heidi's fans see for themselves what kind of person their beloved host really is. Don't be in such a hurry. If the counselor finds out later, you won't be able to escape." I waved my hand. Come, I have a great plan." After hearing it, Kathy questioned, "Didn't you say that roommates should unite and love each other? You were praising Heidi before, so why are you helping us now?" I patted my chest, speaking with conviction. "My heart is on the side of justice. That was just a delaying tactic, no need to dwell on it." Under my guidance, the two started a live broadcast. When Heidi isn't in the dorm, I notify them to return to the dorm to start their live stream. Their live stream, themed around digging into the dorm life of your favorite streamer Heidi, attracts a large number of Heidi's fans. Kathy places the items Heidi gave her on the table and reviews them one by one. These are all things Heidi gave us. She doesn't use them herself, she gave them all to us. I thought she was sincere, but it turns out these are things she wouldn't even use herself, and she just threw them at us. Lucy chimed in, "Don't worry, there are no moderators here to kick you out for speaking the truth. We want your honest opinions about the products Heidi recommends. Don't let the influencer filter deceive yourself or others." As they spoke, they became more and more excited and exaggerated, criticizing the brands mercilessly. In fact, they hadn't even used the products themselves, so in this regard, they were no different from Heidi. One praised positively, the other criticized negatively. However, no people would dare to criticize a brand so recklessly. There's always some leeway. Their excessive actions only added fuel to the fire, propelling them straight to the top of the trending list. Heidi blocked the two of them in the dormitory, demanding an explanation. "You dare to slander me online. Is the written apology not enough, or did you not pay enough compensation?" Lucy glared back without backing down. "We didn't say anything wrong. If you lost followers, it's because you're not skilled enough." Heidi laughed in anger. "Fine, this is what you forced me to do." Heidi frantically took photos all over the dormitory. Kathy stepped out of the bathroom in her nightgown, surrounded by steam, her clothes slightly damp and clinging to her skin. Heidi pointed her phone at her. "Guys, look, the good girl's bath scene. Send some flowers, and I'll show you something even more exciting." Kathy screamed and covered her neckline. "Heidi, are you sick? Do you even know what privacy is?" Heidi said with a grin, "Oh, our sweet girl is angry. Even when she's angry, she looks beautiful. Babies, hurry up and take screenshots if you want them, or you'll miss out." Hearing this, Kathy covered her face, pushed Heidi aside, and hurriedly put on her coat. Heidi walked over slowly, taking pictures of her from all angles, and sighed, "My roommate isn't cooperating. What a disappointment. Don't worry, there will be another time. Babies, don't rush." When Kathy, her eyes red, told me about this, I had to think of all the sad things that had happened in the past 18 years just to keep from laughing out loud. If you hadn't betrayed your trust back then, you might have already driven Heidi away. And how could you have ended up in this situation? Kathy grabbed my hand. "Sarah, what should we do? We can't just let her off the hook." Lucy clenched his fists, angrily saying, "This is too much. We absolutely can't let her off." I removed Kathy's hand and curved my lips. "An eye for an eye." Lucy's eyes flashed with malice. "Yes, she filmed you, so we'll film her back. All you water babies, come and watch, the most authentic, unpretentious, and unposed Heidi. 3, 2, 1, wow." Heidi's beauty emerging from the bath, Lucy stood guard at the bathroom door, quickly aiming the camera at it as soon as the sound of water stopped. Kathy and I watched from the side. As soon as Heidi opened the door, the camera was shoved right in her face, scanning her from top to bottom. She immediately took a step back and slammed the bathroom door shut. "Lucy, what are you doing? Who allowed you to film me? Your beloved Heidi is shy." "Everyone, no worries, let's wait a bit, she'll be ready and out in no time." Lucy knocked on the door, then turned off the live stream's audio. "Hurry up, okay, don't keep your fans waiting too long." "What does your live stream have to do with my fans? Don't try to ride on my coattails." "Well, I'm really sorry, but my live stream is all about Heidi's roommate. If you don't show up, your fans might unfollow you." "Let me read you some comments." "Why is Heidi so mean? Not even giving any perks. What's with the pretense? You're just selling your looks." Heidi calmed down, and the next moment she opened the bathroom door, revealing a sweet smile. "Baby, Heidi isn't putting on airs. I was just a bit startled earlier. My roommate clearly knew I wasn't properly dressed and still took a video of me. I was also trying to keep her live stream from being banned." Heidi explained a lot, but Lucy laughed. "My sound wasn't even on, so what's the point of talking so much? You're sick." Lucy immediately turned on the sound. "You're such a great roommate," Heidi forced out, her smile even twisting slightly. Kathy covered her mouth and giggled softly. Her eyebrows are all crooked with anger. "I wonder how her fans feel." I looked at her coldly. "I also don't know what kind of mood you'll be in when you realize you've been tricked." The 3 people in the dorm have completely lost it, taking turns taking photos. In the evening, Heidi held up her phone and took photos of each bed. "Babies, the roommates are asleep. Do you know what it looks like when people sleep?" She pulled back the curtains of Kathy and Lucy's bed, even going so far as to try to lift their blanket, but was kicked away by Lucy. Heidi was unhappy and brought her phone over to my bed. "Sarah, cooperate with me," before I could respond. She climbed up the ladder and slipped into my mosquito net. With my eyes tightly shut, I suddenly grinned, sat up with a sudden movement, and groped to grab Heidi's neck. "You little zombie, you dare eat my peas, I'll twist your brain out." Heidi was startled and pushed me away. "This sleep talking is a bit scary." That's it for tonight's roommate exploration, babies." Early in the morning, Lucy was already leaning over Heidi's bed. "Babies, here's a new benefit from Heidi's roommate. The early bird catches the worm. Let's see what our looks like when sleeping." "Oh my, look at that face, so oily." Heidi woke up to see the phone and was startled, her drowsiness disappearing in an instant. Realizing what she was doing, she forced a smile. "It's like this in the morning. Heidi will go wash her face first and then chat with the babies." Kathy was watching the live stream on her phone, muttering softly. What's she afraid of with so few people in the live stream? Heidi's fans fluctuated wildly, making her so anxious that she smashed all the evaluation items on the table to the ground. "Lucy, Kathy, you're driving me crazy. How shameless, using me as their stepping stone." I casually mentioned, "Oh, these things." "Their live streams became popular by doing negative reviews of the products you recommended. Maybe you could collaborate with them using this head-to-head model. But you'd need to discuss it thoroughly with the advertisers to avoid any accidental breaches of contract." Her hand paused mid-throw, and she looked over. "Breach of contract? If they slander me, they're slandering the advertisers. If they want heat that badly, I'll add fuel to the fire." Heidi spent money to push the video of Lucy's review onto the platform's trending list. Since the entire video was filled with harsh criticism, netizens commented, "The king of verbal warfare. Not afraid to offend the brand, you are my blessing, black and red is also red." Heidi released another review, honestly pointing out the pros and cons of the product and accusing them of malicious slander. Both sides clashed, and both became popular. Lucy, panicked, came to me. "They say we infringed on their product's reputation and are demanding we pay compensation. I told you to be careful from the start, but you wouldn't listen, you insisted on spouting nonsense. And now who's to blame for the trouble? Hurry up and find Kathy for a solution. Her family has money. I've looked into those things, and they're all small brands. They mainly make money by winning reputation lawsuits. Not many actually make money from selling products." Lucy is from a rural background, and her tuition is covered by scholarships and financial aid. Her family won't help her pay. Kathy's family has old-fashioned ideas, favoring boys over girls, and they are very strict with her. It's hard to say how she'll handle this. I soon found the answer. Kathy didn't dare tell her family, and Lucy's parents didn't care about her either. With no way out, the two began to shift the blame onto each other. Lucy managed to get Kathy's home phone number and spilled the beans. Kathy's parents were ashamed of her and blocked both of them, refusing to intervene. By this point, the two had completely fallen out. and a fight broke out. Kathy, breaking her usual image as a good girl, suddenly erupted, as if releasing years of pent-up resentment. Lucy, with his naturally strong build and short temper, the fight escalated into a fierce struggle. I called the counselor again. This time someone's really going to die. Their head's been smashed. Please hurry over, the counselor asked. Is it room 501? Yes, 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 please hurry. Upon hearing it was 501, she rushed over in a flurry, nervously scanning the room, then relaxed. So it's just these two fighting, huh? Yes. Please separate them quickly. Lucy was pulling Kathy's hair, and Kathy was biting Lucy's arm, completely unaware of me and the counselor at the door. The counselor turned to leave, but I quickly grabbed her. Aren't you going to intervene? Someone could get seriously hurt. She was indifferent. We'll deal with it if something happens. Then I can only call the police. But I'm afraid it will affect our school and implicate you as well. The counselor impatiently shook off my hand. What does it have to do with me? Who dares to pin this on me? She wasn't afraid at all, and I had no idea where she got her confidence from. She didn't care, but I couldn't just ignore it, so I called the police. In an instant, a flood of notifications filled the screen. 2 female students at a university engage in a fierce fight. What's the reason? Shocking. Let's uncover the hidden secrets of female dormitories at universities. Once they left, I never saw them again. Lucy's mother came to the dormitory to pack up her things. Seeing the evaluation materials, her shrewd eyes darted around. Are these Lucy's? Yes, you can take them all. She happily swept everything into a plastic bag. Just then, the dormitory manager arrived and asked as soon as she entered the room, "Which bed is Kathy's?" I pointed across the way and asked curiously, "What's wrong with Kathy?" The dorm manager shook her head. "She dropped out of school. She doesn't want any of these things anymore. I'm here to clean them up." As soon as Mrs. Judy heard this, her eyes lit up. "Can I take some of them?" The dorm manager looked at her and nodded. "Take whatever you want first, and I'll clean up the rest," Lucy's mother said decisively. "Don't bother tidying up, I'll take everything. And I'll make sure it's spotless." Half the dormitory was empty. I sighed. It still wasn't spacious enough. One more person needed to leave. Heidi believed she had won the final victory in the struggle among the 3 of them and was overjoyed every day. She always comes to take pictures of me, and I don't mind, even cooperating quite willingly, but it seems she's not very satisfied. Babies, my roommate is doing skincare. I rarely do it, it's too troublesome. She was disoriented. So I pushed my face, covered in a seaweed mask, right up to her. Brown seaweed stuck together in clumps, covering the entire face, filling the entire screen. Quite eerie. The live stream was immediately issued a warning. "Babies, my roommate is studying behind my back. Let's secretly scare her." I pretended to be startled and shoved my textbook on she's overview in front of her phone. The live stream received another warning. Several times, the screen kept going black, affecting the quality. And the people in the live stream also had complaints. "What's going on? Can you even broadcast properly? It's like this every day. It's boring. I'm not watching anymore." Heidi pointed at the comments and vented his anger on me. "Look at what you've done." I lowered my head, pretending to be. "I was also trying to boost your popularity. If they find it uninteresting, then you can film something else that's interesting." "What else can I even film?" she retorted irritably. I opened the live stream. "Look, this is also a college student host. He streams his classes, and there are quite a few viewers. Why don't you give it a try?" She glanced at it and asked, "Good idea. What class do you think I should stream?" "That must be a class where the teacher is lenient," I blurted out. She gave me an approving look. "Exactly. Let's test the waters with tomorrow's Shigai class. Don't film the slides. Just capture that bald teacher spitting and gesturing wildly." I laughed along with her. She laughed, confident she could keep her fans. I laughed at her, knowing she was about to crash. In the last class on the study of Xi Jinping's thought, the teacher mentioned that the Ministry of Education would be inspecting next time, especially focusing on ideological and political courses, and urged us not to be absent. Heidi hadn't been paying attention in class and had no idea about this. If she dares to live stream during such a class tomorrow, she'll be walking right into trouble. Heidi pulled me to sit in the last row and propped her phone up against the backrest of the seat in front. She lowered her voice. "Babies, today we're live streaming a college class. Exciting, isn't it?" A large crowd flooded into and the number of viewers continued to rise. Heidi became even more delighted as she watched the numbers climb. "Babies, can you see this teacher's head? He treasures his bald head the most. I heard it costs a lot of money to maintain." That girl in the first row, she's always the most eager to answer questions, the core of the competition maniacs. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a group of people passing by the corridor, with the principal bowing and scraping to someone beside him. The person stopped at the back door of the classroom and quietly walked in. I looked up intently at the presentation, writing notes with my hand, feeling someone approaching from behind. Heidi was still chattering non-stop. This kind of class is just a filler. College students attend these kinds of classes every day. It doesn't really matter if you listen or not. A cold laugh came from behind. How important political education is, and you call it a filler class. This classmate, please explain yourself, and let me see how we can improve. Heidi didn't even look up. It's important. She realized something, closed her mouth, and turned her head to look. The principal and the commissioner stared at her with stern faces. The teacher stopped lecturing, and the whole class turned to look in her direction. Heidi stood up, speaking with righteous indignation. Did I say anything wrong? This kind of class should be cancelled. Principal, you really don't understand students. Haven't you seen how many people are falling asleep? It proves this class shouldn't exist. Someone gasped. How dare she? What guts! I didn't expect her to stand up to the principal like that. The principal's face darkened, and he reprimanded. Nonsense. What are you talking about? Write a 10,000-word reflection right now and think about it properly. Heidi was indignant. Why should I? I won't write it. The principal's eyelids twitched uncontrollably, constantly winking at Heidi. 10,000 words. Not a single word less, the commissioner said coldly. 10,000 words, that's a bit much, isn't it? The principal forced a smile. Not at all, not at all. She needs to deeply recognize her mistake. Is that so? I don't think it's much either. The commissioner leaned over and took the phone off the desk. Live streaming a political class, slandering the teacher, disrupting the classroom. Your school's punishment is just writing a self-criticism. I secretly opened the live stream, and the number of viewers surged. Heidi's classroom live stream got off to a bad start, crashing on the first day. A major crash and social death scene. To be honest, Heidi is really brave. I glanced at Heidi, who snatched her phone back unhappily. Who are you to touch my stuff without permission? The principal's forehead was beaded with cold sweat. Heidi, stop it. The principal actually knew Heidi's name. I remembered that the principal also shared the surname He. Heidi is the principal's daughter, and the counselor is her father's mistress. Heidi helped the mistress drive out her own mother and, together with the counselor, wreaked havoc at school. A large block of text appeared in the live stream, continuously scrolling across the screen. This account is the one used by Lucy and Kathy for their live broadcasts. At the same time, a video shot to the top of the trending list. It was a video I secretly filmed of Heidi talking with the counselor. Many students in the classroom were looking at their phones, glancing at Heidi and the principal as they did so. The principal felt extremely uncomfortable and was about to say something when the commissioner's phone rang. After answering the call and hanging up, he said coldly, Principal He, the disciplinary inspection team is here, please come with me. The principal looked flustered, glancing at the commissioner and then at Heidi, before finally lowering his head and following. The classroom immediately buzzed with noise as countless eyes turned toward Heidi, accompanied by malicious smiles. This must be the investigation, right? We've been wanting a new principal for a long time. This road has been in disrepair for years, and no one cares. I said it before, Heidi always looks down her nose. No wonder, with a principal as her father and a counselor as her stepmother. The voices of discussion were not soft, and Heidi heard them clearly. Her face turned pale, and she stood still, clutching her phone. In a daze, she picked up her phone. The live stream had already been banned, and the first video she saw exposed her background. Within a few days, the principal was removed from office and investigated, the counselor was fired, and the new principal gave Heidi a major demerit. Heidi spent her days in a daze, her account still blocked. She sat at her desk, staring at her makeup box. I'm really afraid that one day she might suddenly go crazy and take me with her to the afterlife. The new counselor is a recent college graduate, enthusiastic and responsible. As soon as I told her about this, she immediately called Heidi's biological mother. That woman is also crazy. As soon as she arrived at the dorm, she grabbed Heidi's hair and said, You brought your father down. And now you're satisfied, aren't you? We've lost everything, instead of helping me. You're turning your back on your own family. All the money at home has gone to that shameless mistress. You shouldn't be studying. Go back and collect trash to sell. Lucy's accounts have not posted any videos since then. After Heidi's account was unbanned, she no longer streamed. Soon, their fans dispersed, not even doing what they were most passionate about. It's clear their current situation is not good. I feel much better knowing they're not doing well. It's like a bright, sunny day with not a single cloud in sight. Meanwhile, the school has introduced new rules prohibiting live streaming in classrooms and preventing it from affecting others. Anyone caught live streaming on campus and reported will have their streaming privileges revoked, with severe cases resulting in immediate expulsion. I asked the new counselor, and she said those 3 had already dropped out. If they had waited any longer, they would have been expelled. She sounded a bit regretful, mentioning that the new principal missed an opportunity to make an example of them, which was a bit of a pity. I was so happy that I returned to the dorm and jumped around for several rounds. Only I remained in dormitory 501, spacious and quiet. I lay comfortably on the bed. Indeed, it was completely quiet. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. In my previous life, my girlfriend's white moonlight was diagnosed with liver cancer. Girlfriend's matching was successful, and she was willing to donate her liver to her white moonlight without considering the consequences. At the last moment, I stopped her, but her white moonlight died despite the efforts. 10 years later, she strangled our child to death and pushed my parents from a high-rise building. Then she stabbed my liver with a knife, her face covered in blood. She laughed maniacally, demanding that I pay with my life for her white moonlight. Upon waking up from my rebirth, the first thing I did was drag my girlfriend to get a compatibility test. I heard Jason has liver cancer and now needs a liver transplant to survive. Girlfriend Bella idly picked at the rice in her bowl, seemingly casually mentioning to me. I blinked hard, making sure I was still alive. I've been reborn. In my previous life, Bella sat across from me just like this, pretending to casually mention Jason's plight. She talked about how the students at school had voluntarily gone to get tested, hoping they could save him. After all, Jason was an orphan, and the chances of a matching donor from his family were slim to none. I didn't know back then that Jason was her lifelong white moonlight, full of love for her in my heart. Frowning, I said I was afraid her body would be harmed, and I tried to stop her from going for the matching. She said unhappily that it wasn't guaranteed to succeed, and we almost got into an argument over it. I didn't realize it at the time, but there was discontent in Bella's eyes. It wasn't until she secretly went for a compatibility test and succeeded. I brought her parents to block the door of the operating room, stopping her actions. In the end, Jason died without being cured, and Bella deeply resented me. She pretended to be grateful for my timely intervention, proclaiming to everyone that she would only marry me. However, in our 10th year of marriage, she colluded with outsiders to scheme against my company, leading to my bankruptcy. At my most desperate and helpless moment, she strangled our 9-year-old son to death. Then, in front of me, he pushed my parents off a high-rise building. Finally, he stabbed me in the liver. Watching me bleed profusely, she ranted like a madwoman, professing her love for Jason, even blaming Jason's death entirely on me. You deserve to die. If it weren't for you stopping me, I could have saved Jason. Every day with you makes me feel sick. You're a cold-blooded demon. Her accusations echoed in my ears. A single act of kindness in stopping her led to her wild revenge. Thinking of my parents and my son, hatred spread endlessly within me, desperate to dismember the woman in front of me. What's wrong, Sam? I'm talking to you. She pretended to be angry and glared at him. In the past, I would have found her behavior quite adorable. Now, I feel so nauseous that I almost vomit. Just reborn. I can't afford to scare off the snake. It's okay. I was thinking, Jason doesn't have many relatives, so we classmates are all he can count on. Let's go to the hospital later and get tested for a match. After saying that, I indeed saw Bella's triumphant look. She smiled and made a heart gesture at me. Great, Sam. You're such a good person, I silently responded, my heart cold with disdain. Fine, since I've blocked you and you resent me, then I'll fulfill your wish and be a good person. I personally sent you to the hospital, watching you head towards your doom. When Bella and I arrived at the hospital, there were only a few people in Jason's ward. In my previous life, Bella told me that all the schoolmates came to get tested, but only she was a match, but I didn't believe it at all. Jason was already not very popular at school, so it was impossible for so many people to show up. Seeing it with my own eyes only confirmed my suspicions. The frail, handsome man lying in bed could indeed evoke a woman's maternal instincts. Unfortunately, I always believed that those who are pitiful must have their own hateful aspects. Bella tearfully spoke to Jason for quite a while, completely forgetting about me. her actual boyfriend. I didn't want her to miss the matching time, so I quickly reminded her, Bella, let Jason rest well, let's hurry up and get the matching done. Bella, after hearing my words, reluctantly bid farewell to Jason, then, as if deliberately avoiding suspicion in front of Jason, she kept a distance from me, walking one step ahead as we left the ward. I watched her actions coldly, then glanced back at Jason. There was no emotion in his eyes. As if he had already expected Bella to come, my disdain for Bella grew even more. Sam, let's go in together. At the door of the examination room, Bella was afraid I would change my mind, so she held onto my sleeve tightly. That's right, Jason and I share the same blood type, so theoretically, the chances of a successful match between us are higher. We can't be examined in the same room. I'll go to the examination room on the other side, biting back the nausea in my heart. I patted Bella's hair and then walked into the adjacent examination room right in front of her, half closing the door. I waited until I heard her enter the next room and close the door before I apologized to the doctor inside, saying I needed to use the restroom. Then I quickly ran out of the examination room. I refused to be a donor for Jason. Bella will definitely succeed anyway. When Bella came out, I pretended to have just emerged myself. She didn't notice any flaws. It wasn't until a week later that Bella received a message saying her blood type match was successful. I matched. Sam, this is great, I can save Jason. The day she received the message, Bella excitedly grabbed my arm. Perhaps it was because I didn't stop her from going for the matching process in this lifetime, so she let down her guard with me and came to share the news as soon as she received the message, watching her unreservedly happy. I thought to myself that this woman was truly foolish to the extreme. Unfortunately, my matching didn't succeed. I fabricated a message about a failed matching test and showed it to Bella. After reading it, a hint of regret flashed in her eyes. In her mind, the more people who successfully matched, the better. Unfortunately, there will always be only one person who can successfully match. It's okay, I can save him. Bella seemed to be deceived by my attitude and even patted my shoulder in consolation. How ridiculous. Bella, are you really prepared to donate your liver? When I asked this question, Bella looked at me with a guarded expression. Didn't we agree on this? Are you trying to stop me? No, I was just asking. Isn't such a big thing worth informing your parents? No, I'm telling you, Sam, if you dare tell them, I'll never talk to you again. I quickly raised my hand. Don't worry, miss. I absolutely won't tell them. My face showed compliance with Bella, but in my heart, I muttered, this is on you for not letting me tell them. Don't blame me later. In my previous life, disregarding Bella's threats, I directly called her parents. With them at the critical moment, I stopped Bella. Since Bella has given me such specific instructions this time, I certainly won't do anything unnecessary. I will personally escort her into the operating room. Bella eagerly confirmed the surgery time with the doctor, rushed impatiently to Jason's ward again, only to find a girl sobbing in Jason's arms, her tears like raindrops on a pear blossom. It's okay, I heard the matching was successful, I won't die. Jason gently comforted the girl in his arms. Bella's face turned pale instantly, while I watched the scene unfold from behind. In my previous life, I already knew Jason had a childhood friend. When Jason died, this childhood friend heard that I had stopped Bella from donating her liver and came to scold me in person. She was far from being as weak as she appeared now in Jason's arms. Jason, who is she? Bella acted like the rightful wife, completely ignoring the fact that I, her actual boyfriend, was standing right next to her. I felt embarrassed for her. The girl stepped back from Jason's embrace, smiled at Bella. Are you the sister who is going to donate a liver to my brother? Hearing this, Bella raised her head proudly, looking down on others. She didn't notice the brief flash of disgust in Jason's eyes. This idiot. I rolled my eyes secretly, too lazy to watch their act any longer. I went straight to the doctor's office. There's one thing I need to confirm. When Bella stormed out of the doctor's office, she marched straight towards me, fuming. Where did you run off to? Do you know how long I've been looking for you? Bella completely ignored the fact that everyone around us was watching, shouting at me with a bad temper. I looked at her coldly. This is how she was in her previous life, never caring about my dignity as a man. She often belittled and humiliated me in public. Only later did I realize that she merely saw me as a punching bag and an ATM. I'm going to check with the doctor about the surgery precautions and prepare some nutritional supplements for you in advance. Sure enough, Bella's attitude softened when she heard me say that, then remembered to prepare some for Jason too. He's so pitiful. Bella winked at me, thinking I would still obey her every word like I used to. I smiled and nodded, feeling a wave of nausea rise within me again. I remembered my past life, when Bella used Jason's pitiful background to morally blackmail me. I paid for all of Jason's medical expenses. Even his final funeral was funded by me, yet, Bella still harbored deep hatred towards me. Since it is so, I won't be the one to take the fall. The surgery was scheduled for a month later. I told Bella that the doctor wanted her to increase her nutritional intake every day. I ordered some greasy soups and broths for her from the restaurant. Whenever she didn't want to drink them, I told her it was what the doctor recommended, for the sake of better liver condition. Every time Bella heard me out, she would pinch her nose and drink it down. I couldn't help but marvel at how much she truly loved Jason. After being fed by me for a month, Bella's weight had noticeably increased. Every time Jason saw her, the disdain in his eyes was impossible to hide, and Bella remained lost in her dream of love. I couldn't bear to shatter her illusions. This past month, in addition to preparing nutritious meals for Bella, I also took the time to contact my parents, urging them not to visit H-City recently, this lifetime. I will keep my parents far away from that vile woman, Bella. I will take care of her myself, Bella, if you don't tell Uncle and Auntie, who will sign the surgery consent form for you. The day before the surgery, as I fed Bella her last bowl of soup, I asked casually, as if it were a passing thought. Bella frowned. You sign it, and no matter what happens, just make sure the surgery continues. This love-struck fool. That's exactly what I wanted to hear from her. I asked the hospital. And since we're just boyfriend and girlfriend, you might need to write me an authorization letter so I can make decisions on your behalf. Bella waved her hand very decisively. This is simple, just sign it. Probably because I've been so obedient about her donating her liver recently, she's let her guard down with me, so easily agreeing to place her life and death in my hands. I looked at Bella's handwritten authorization letter. My eyes were filled with icy coldness. Bella, you brought this upon yourself, so don't blame me. On the day of the surgery, the doctor looked at Bella's test results with a furrowed brow. This value doesn't seem right. The doctor seemed hesitant, apparently puzzled as to why the matching indicators could change so drastically in just a month. Bella was coaxed by me to stay in the ward, unaware of what was happening here. Doctor, my girlfriend is very insistent on donating her liver, I said calmly, but her current condition and the numerical values pose some risks. The values are all at critical levels, and while the risks are significant, the doctor doesn't dare to outright refuse the liver donation. After all, Jason's days are numbered. Indeed, the doctor was still hesitating when Bella rushed in, looking anxious. Doctor, it's bad. Jason has fainted. As expected, my calculations were correct. In my previous life, Jason fell seriously ill and was admitted to the ICU today. Because there was no liver donor, he didn't survive for more than 2 days. The doctor rushed to Jason's ward. After a chaotic rush, Jason was quickly wheeled into the operating room. His childhood sweetheart, tears streaming down her face like pear blossoms in the rain, pleaded with Bella at the operating room door. Sister, aren't you supposed to donate your liver to brother? Why haven't you gone yet? Are you regretting it now? People around began to point and whisper at Bella. How can you go back on your word about donating your liver? Are you scared? Oh dear. That's a human life at stake. Rumors and gossip flooded Bella's ears. She had been determined to donate her liver to Jason. Now she was caught between a rock and a hard place. She rushed to the operating room door and kept pounding on it. I want to donate my liver. Open the door quickly. I want to donate my liver. A nurse came over and pulled her away. No noise at the operating room door. I watched Bella, who seemed to have gone mad, as coldness spread in my eyes. Bella was about to say something. The door of the operating room opened again. The patient's condition is critical and surgery must be performed immediately. A liver donor must be prepared right away. After speaking, he glanced at Bella and sighed helplessly. Are you sure you want to donate? Donate, donate, donate. Doctor, I can have the surgery right away. I can do it. The doctor shook his head again, equally helpless. In that case, the family member and I will go sign the papers. Nurse, prepare the liver source for surgery. He then quickly led me to the side. I've already explained her condition. If you insist on donating, sign all these consent forms. The doctor hurriedly handed me a stack of documents to sign. It seems that Jason's condition is really critical. I signed without hesitation, feeling quite satisfied. Bella was quickly wheeled into the operating room. As she had wished, I leaned against the wall, staring at the operating light, thinking to myself, Bella, your retribution is coming soon. About half an hour later, a nurse hurried out of the operating room. Who is Bella's family member? I raised an eyebrow and stepped forward. I am a nurse. What's wrong? During Bella's surgery, there was massive liver and spleen bleeding. If the donation continues, the spleen may not be saved. Should the family terminate the surgery? Not far away. Jason's childhood sweetheart heard this and rushed over in a panic. It seemed she was particularly afraid I would say the words to terminate the surgery. I twitched my lips. This donation has cost my girlfriend a lot, and her will is particularly strong. I believe she wouldn't want me to stop the surgery, I sincerely told the nurse. Jason's girlfriend indeed relaxed, then signed quickly. The nurse handed me another form. Without even looking, I signed my name. Half an hour later, the nurse came out again. Bella needs a splenectomy. Family members, come and sign immediately. I signed my name again without hesitation. After a while, the nurse came out again. Bella is bleeding uncontrollably. Family members, come and sign quickly. Bella's heart and lung functions have ceased. Need to use equipment. Family members of Bella, please sign. During the several hours of surgery, the nurse came out countless times. Bella experienced massive blood loss, spleen removal, intubation, and strong hormone injections during this surgery. She really endured a lot of suffering, yet, this was all just what she had sought. The surgery was successful, and both need to be observed in the ICU. 5 hours later, the doctor came out and announced the successful completion of the surgery. However, no one but me noticed that he had used the word temporary. Bella and her long-cherished white moonlight were wheeled into the ICU. Seeing Bella's pale face and unconscious state, I finally took out my phone and dialed her parents' number. I don't want to foot the bill for her medical expenses. When Bella's parents heard that their daughter was in the ICU, they quickly rushed over from the neighboring city. What happened to Bella? Bella's mother grabbed my clothes, looking like she wanted to tear me apart. Her father glared at me with full anger in his eyes. Seeing them like this, they were indeed exactly the same as their previous incarnation, in my past life. When I informed them that Bella was going to donate a liver, they also blamed all the faults on me. They say I don't care about Bella's safety, and in the end, it takes the two of them, the elders, to step in. They say I don't act like a man at all. Later, when I married Bella, they spent my money while slandering me in front of her. Even my and Bella's daughter, they always found fault with her. Thinking of this, I felt nothing but disdain and hatred for this family, uncle, auntie. This is the authorization letter Bella wrote for me. She insisted on donating her liver to Jason, and I couldn't stop her. You know Bella's personality. She didn't let me tell you. As I spoke, I took out the handwritten authorization letter from Bella and the photo of her personally signed surgery consent form. The facts were laid bare before the two old folks. They stamped their feet in frustration, feeling that their efforts had been in vain. What are we going to do now? The spleen has been removed. What will happen in the future? Bella's mother stomped her feet and wailed loudly. Who did Bella donate her liver to? He took my daughter's liver and just stays silent about it. As expected, everything revolves around personal gain. It just so happened that Jason's girlfriend came to visit Jason. How is sister Bella doing? The person who came knocking for punishment was grabbed by Bella's parents. Is it you who took my daughter's liver? My daughter lost her spleen because of you. You have to pay. Jason's girlfriend was trembling with fear. I'm happy to watch the show, but an even bigger spectacle is yet to come. They'll still have to conserve their energy. Uncle and auntie, this is Jason's friend. Jason is also in the ICU and hasn't woken up yet. I wonder if heaven is also helping me. As soon as I finished speaking, the nurse came over to inform us that Jason had woken up and could return to the ward for observation. Bella's parents, full of resentment, hurried back to Jason's ward with the little childhood friend. The person who had just come off the operating table was pale and devoid of color. Various tubes were wrapped around his body. He looked at the few people in front of him with a dazed expression, as if he hadn't yet adjusted to his new organ. Sam, what is this? Jason's gaze fell on me. I shrugged. These are Bella's parents. During Bella's surgery, she had a massive hemorrhage and had her spleen removed. She is still in the ICU now. I spoke in a calm tone, and with each word, a sense of satisfaction grew within me. Jason widened his eyes and tried to get up despite his weakness. Only I could see the impatience in his eyes. You tell me, my daughter's spleen is gone. How are you going to compensate us? Bella's mother spoke first. Jason seemed surprised that Bella's parents would ask him for money. He opened his mouth, then gasped for air and lay back down on the bed. Jason's girlfriend looked at Jason's condition and felt her heart ache, tears welling up in her eyes. Uncle and auntie, we know Bella has given a lot for Jason, but she did it willingly. Nonsense. Even if our Bella were to donate a liver, it should be to someone in the family. How could she save a man for nothing and let you little vixen, benefit from it? Bella's mother shouted at Jason's girlfriend. The young girl probably hadn't heard such malicious words before, and her face turned red and pale in an instant. I watched coldly, and sure enough, Bella's parents had long known about her sordid thoughts toward Jason. In my previous life, I had already suspected what these parents knew. After all, the words they blurted out when stopping Bella were very suspicious. Bella, you're being foolish. Even if you donate your liver, how will you two useless people live? How did I give birth to such a muddle-headed daughter? For a man, what can he give you? He was already an orphan himself. Sam's family is so well off, and he's so devoted to you. Are you stupid? It's a pity that in my previous life, I was so preoccupied with worrying about Bella donating her liver that I never deeply considered the meaning behind what Bella's parents said. Now it seems that even though they looked down on me so much, they still let Bella marry me. It's just because they saw the potential in my circumstances. In this lifetime, even if I throw money into the water, I won't spend a single cent on this family again. Uncle, Auntie, it's me. I'm the one who wronged Bella. Once I'm discharged from the hospital, I will take care of her for the rest of my life. Jason stuttered out this sentence, and I raised an eyebrow, not expecting it. Little Plum burst into tears with a loud wail. Bella's parents let out a disdainful chuckle. Do you think everyone is as easy to fool as my daughter? With your frail body, do you expect to take care of my daughter? Exactly. Do you think we're stupid? Jason probably hadn't encountered people like Bella's parents in his entire life, and he was so angry that he almost ended up back in the operating room again. At that moment, the nurse's voice echoed through the corridor. Family of Bella, Bella has post-operative infection and needs another surgery. The two old men bolted out the door. Jason, seeing this, actually breathed a sigh of relief. Watching Jason's reaction, I couldn't help but curse Bella again for being such an idiot. Bella was once again wheeled into the operating room. I told you long ago that Bella has a blood disorder. You need to take extra care of her. How could you let her donate her liver? Bella's father kept poking his finger at the tip of my nose. He was so angry he wanted to hit me. I lowered my head, pretending to feel guilty. The surgery consent form was personally signed by Bella, and everyone in the hospital can testify that Bella was hysterical, claiming she wanted to donate her liver. This was all Bella's own choice. How can this be blamed on me? This time, Bella's surgery lasted for another 2.5 hours. A third of the liver she had left was removed again. When Bella's mother heard this, she sat on the hospital floor and wailed loudly. You murderous hospital, how could you let her donate her liver? Her performance of throwing a tantrum was so practiced, it didn't seem like she was new to this. I was so shocked that my jaw almost dropped. The hospital security quickly arrived to control the situation. The two old men were escorted into the mediation room. I followed along as well. After all, I am an important witness. Based on the examination results, we have determined that Bella is eligible for donation, but there are risks involved during the surgery. The lead surgeon threw a stack of papers onto the table. These are the liability statement, commitment letter, and surgery consent form signed by Bella herself. After saying that, he played another video. This is the video of Bella strongly demanding to donate her liver for surgery at the operating room door when Jason's condition was optimistic. In the video, Bella was frenziedly pounding on the door of the operating room. She then grabbed the doctor's clothes, insisting like a madwoman to donate her liver. Of course, it also recorded her accusing me, asking why I didn't immediately contact a doctor to perform her surgery. Bella's parents looked on with complex expressions on their faces. The curse words that were about to come out were forcibly held back. Based on the evidence above, Bella strongly requested to donate her liver while fully conscious. The doctor spoke coldly, as if unwilling to engage further with Bella's parents. As for Bella's current condition, it is one of the risks associated with the surgery, and it was all clearly stated in the preoperative consent form. Bella's parents stared at the document in front of them and the highly evocative video. They fell silent for a moment. Of course, we will also do our best to save Bella, and her condition has now stabilized. I felt a bit of regret hearing this. Bella's condition had stabilized too quickly. However, the show isn't over yet. Bella's parents can't blame the hospital, so they can only direct their anger at me. However, the authorization letter was written by Bella herself, and the consent form was signed by Bella herself. Even if they want to blame me, they can't find any other excuses. A day later, Bella finally woke up. The first thing she did upon waking up was to ask me, "How is Jason? Is he all right?" Looking at this deeply infatuated woman in front of me, I find her utterly ridiculous. Jason is fine." Before I could finish speaking, Bella's father shoved me aside. "You idiot. How could you agree to donate your liver? Don't you know your spleen was removed?" Bella looked a bit confused, staring at me as if seeking an explanation. "You had massive bleeding during the surgery, and the doctor said they had to remove your spleen. If they had stopped, both Jason and you would have been in danger." I slightly altered the direction of the story. Bella immediately became emotionally agitated upon hearing that if they stopped, Jason would be in danger. "Yes, we can't stop. Jason can't be in danger." I looked at her coldly, wondering if Jason was really in any danger, which was hard to say. Bella's parents were almost driven to death by her behavior. No one expected that after waking up, she would be completely unfazed by the fact that one of her spleens had been removed. With most of her liver gone, her spleen was also removed. Bella spent more time lying in bed than Jason. However, during this period, Jason never showed up once. The hospital bill arrived before Jason. Patient Bella in bed 7, family members. Please pay the hospital fees. The nurse tossed the form onto the bed, and Bella's parents picked it up to glance at it. Their expressions grew increasingly grim. When Bella was in the operating room, she used a lot of equipment. After staying in the ICU for so many days, the hospital fees must be quite substantial. "Sam, why haven't you gone to settle Bella's hospital fees yet? This family truly has no sense of shame. He even had the nerve to expect me to pay." "Uncle, Auntie, Bella. I spent all my money at the hospital the other day, and there's nothing left in my card. My parents are on a plane and can't be reached. Could you guys cover it for now?" I lowered my head, pretending to be very helpless. Bella frowned but didn't say anything. Her parents, however, were the first to shout out, "We don't have any money. If not, let Jason pay. You're also useless. Can't even afford the hospital fees." Look at this family, begging with such righteous indignation. I almost couldn't catch my breath. When Bella heard her parents were going to ask Jason for money, she quickly spoke up to stop them. "No way, Jason is already in a tough spot. Indeed, this love-struck person is beyond saving. Then what do you suggest we do? We don't have that kind of money." Bella's mother huffed angrily, sitting on the stool with an air of someone ready to throw a tantrum. I lowered my head and raised an eyebrow, wondering how Bella could be so carefree, having parents like these, yet still be so love-struck. "Just use my credit card for now. Sam, you need to hurry up and ask your parents for money to pay me back." When Bella was with me, she was quite commanding. I nodded silently. Just wait for me to pay off your credit card." With tens of thousands of dollars in expenses, Bella's hand trembled as she swiped the credit card. "Shake in fear, for your good days are yet to come." The first thing Bella did after being able to walk again was rush to Jason's ward to see him. The timing was quite opportune when she arrived. His childhood sweetheart was sweetly cooing with Jason. Bella's face immediately turned sour. Did this woman really fantasize about getting a man with just a liver? When Jason saw Bella, the impatience in his eyes was well concealed. "Bella, you're recovered. The acting is good." Full of surprise in the tone, but it can only fool Bella. "Jason, how are you? Are you still feeling unwell?" Bella is almost leaning over Jason's bed, completely disregarding my reaction behind her. However, I've long been used to it. After all, I'm just here to watch the show. The doctor said I still need some time to adjust to this new liver, but it's all thanks to you, Bella. You've given me a new life. I will repay you well. Jason's closeness in his words made Bella momentarily forget herself. The little childhood friend beside them looked very displeased. However, it seemed she had reached some kind of agreement with Jason. That is, as long as Bella is dealt with, her parents won't bother Jason anymore. "You good for nothing. What are you doing here again?" They were all mistaken. Bella's parents wouldn't let Jason off so easily. "Since we're all here, let's discuss the issue of the liver transplant costs for Bella." Bella's father pulled a stool and sat by Jason's bedside. Bella's mother yanked her away from the bedside, still weak. Bella couldn't withstand her mother's force and nearly fell, but no one in the ward cared about this. "I don't need Jason to pay," Bella shouted with all her might. "Shut up. Who else is going to pay for all your hospital fees and nutrition fees if he doesn't? Sam will give it to me." My jaw dropped. How could anyone be so shameless? "He gave it to you. It's his. Not a single cent of this kid's money can be missing." Bella's father spoke, his eyes glaring viciously at Jason. Jason's girlfriend had already seen how shameless Bella's parents could be. She was now somewhat frightened, clinging to Jason's hospital bed. Upon closer inspection, one would also notice that the two of them were holding hands tightly, as if giving each other strength. Unfortunately, Bella didn't notice. you're being so unreasonable. It was Sister Bella's own decision to donate her liver. Sister Bella even said she didn't want any money. Jason's girlfriend mustered up the courage to refute. She doesn't get the final say. Let me tell you, kid, if you don't hand over the money, I won't let you off the hook. Bella's father looked ferocious, and Jason turned pale with fear. Dad, I don't want Jason's money. Bella was still struggling. Her mother slapped her across the face, and tears welled up in her eyes, but Jason didn't even glance at her. All right, I'll repay you all slowly after I'm discharged from the hospital. Jason felt a bit short of breath, likely from being angered. His complexion also turned sallow, but Bella's father, hearing him say that, seemed quite satisfied. Then he took out a pre-written fake death notice. Here is the IOU for 300,000, once it's paid off, we'll be done. 300,000, Dad, are you crazy? Bella covered her face and shouted. Jason grabbed the IOU and signed his name without hesitation. I raised an eyebrow, finding this Jason quite intriguing, however, before I could enjoy the show enough. Jason clutched his chest and collapsed onto the bed. Brother, Jason, the screams of Jason's girlfriend and Bella echoed simultaneously. I kindly pressed the call button for them. Soon, a large group of doctors and nurses rushed into Jason's ward. Bella's parents seemed terrified by the scene before them. They quickly mumbled, but it's because he's weak, it has nothing to do with us. Then they tried to pull Bella away. Bella refused to leave, and the old men didn't bother with him, slipping away first, afraid of being held responsible. Jason was quickly rushed back into the ICU. It's a postoperative complication. The doctor hastily left a sentence before rushing in to save him. Bella's face was pale as she crouched outside the emergency room. Jason's girlfriend stood angrily in front of Bella. It's all your fault. My brother was harmed by your parents. If anything happens to him, you won't get a single cent. Bella was incensed. Stand up, give little green a shove. What do you think you are? I saved Jason's life. What right do you have to bark at me here? What do you think you are? If it weren't for your liver, my brother wouldn't even bother with you. With a real couple. Little Green finally couldn't hold back and shouted out loud. Bella's worldview seemed to collapse in an instant. She stared blankly at her childhood friend, muttering, Impossible, impossible, how is it impossible? Jason hates you the most. Let me tell you, if anything happens to my brother, I won't let you off. Donating your liver was voluntary. This is blackmail. After saying that, Jason's girlfriend ignored Bella's expression and stood to the side. Anxiously watching the emergency room, I watched as Bella collapsed to the ground. As if losing all faith, a small sense of satisfaction flashed through my heart. After a long time, the doctor came out. The liver itself is not in good condition, so the patient is experiencing severe postoperative reactions, and all indicators are declining. The family should be mentally prepared. After the doctor finished speaking, Bella rushed forward in a flash. What did you say? How is my liver not healthy? The doctor took a step back, seemingly quite disdainful of Bella. Your liver had mild fatty liver before the surgery, which made it less suitable for donation. However, you insisted on donating, and the patient was in urgent need at the time. I've already discussed this with your guardian. Please control your emotions. After saying this, the doctor left without looking back. Bella finally noticed my presence. Her eyes were bloodshot as she stared straight at me. Sam, what's going on? I looked at Bella's face, thinking that everything was finally coming to an end. At the time, you were emotionally upset, so the doctor had to talk to me instead, but you insisted on donating your liver, and I couldn't stop you. My story was flawless. Besides, the hospital surveillance had already recorded everything. It's all your fault. Your liver was already bad, and you still want to harm Jason. Jason's girlfriend pounced on Bella, pinning her to the ground and tightly gripping her neck. Bella's parents suddenly appeared from somewhere. You little seductress, let go of my daughter. My daughter even donated her liver, but that boy just has bad luck. Let go, I'll kill you. Several people were wrestling with each other. The scene was horrifyingly chaotic. I let out a cold laugh and silently withdrew from the battlefield. 2 hours later, I boarded a plane for studying abroad with my own luggage. I had already secured a spot for an overseas exchange program. Everything here was already settled, so there was no need for me to stay any longer. After getting off the plane, a bunch of messages popped up on my phone. It was from the patient group of the People's Hospital of H City, the young man who died today after the liver transplant. What a pity. I heard he was a top student from H University. Oh, the person who donated their liver is really causing trouble. They had a bad liver themselves and still donated. The liver donor is also quite unfortunate. I heard they took on a lot of debt to donate their liver to save someone, and they even had their spleen removed, but the donated liver turned out to be useless. It's really pitiful. I heard the family of the person who died today got into a fight with the liver donor's family. The donor's remaining half of the liver was injured, and it's all shattered. That's terrible. Can they still survive? The doctor said it's pretty bad. The parents of the donor are so angry they want to kill the little girl from the other family. Oh dear, what a tragedy. After silently reading through the group chat, I clicked to leave the group. I also deleted the menu from my phone's photo album. The menus specially prepared for Bella were also the main culprits behind her mild fatty liver. Looking up at the sky, the scenery is truly beautiful. For the rest of my life, I will live happily. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel.